I'm on a long travel mission on my scooter, covering the entire southern part of Japan, Kyushu, the south side. I met two guys who were cycling, also traveling, and we ended up staying in the same guest house. One of them, named Shoma, told me this story. Of course, when guys meet up late at night, we talk about ghosts, right? Just to set the mood. That's how this story came up. This story is actually about Shoma. He told me that his maternal grandparents, his Nani and Nana, live in the Yamaguchi Prefecture. He used to go there often with his mother. The drive from their city home to his grandmother's house was long, about 6 or 7 hours. His mother would drive. Now, his mother would work all day in the office, from morning until evening. When she finished her shift, she would start the drive on a Friday night. Imagine that, a full day of office work followed by 7 hours of driving. She was bound to be tired and exhausted. They had the GPS set perfectly. The drive started on the main highway, and the car was cruising steady at 80 to 90 kilometers per hour. The highway was wide, well-lit, and the GPS told them it was a straight shot, just follow the road. Then, the GPS suddenly spoke up. They were in a remote, empty stretch of road, no lights, no other cars. The GPS instructed, take the left exit here. The highway had small lights, but the exit ramp on the left was pitch black. Absolutely nothing was visible. Shoma's mother looked at the GPS screen. It had shown a straight route before, and now suddenly this left turn. She was slightly confused, but she trusted the technology and took the exit. The road immediately became darker and darker, utterly black. As they continued down this new route, the path began to narrow. The headlights only illuminated the road immediately in front of them. The road became so narrow that it seemed only one car could pass through at a time. If a car came from the other direction, they wouldn't be able to pass. It was a mountain road, with a cliff on one side and a sheer drop on the other. Up ahead, they saw the entrance to a tunnel. As they drove slowly toward the tunnel, Shoma's mother started to feel an intense burning sensation in her eyes. It was like she hadn't slept for days, and her eyes were dry and stinging. She was having trouble seeing the road. Then she started coughing. It was hard for her to breathe, a sudden difficulty taking a full breath. She stopped the car right before the tunnel entrance. She told Shoma, "Let's stop here for a few minutes. I can't see properly. My eyes are burning, and I can't breathe." She drank some water and tried to clear her eyes with a tissue. After resting for 5 or 7 minutes, they tried to move again, but the mother couldn't manage the car. The road was too narrow, the darkness too dense. She thought, the GPS brought us to the wrong place. She tried to reset the GPS, but the narrowness of the road made it impossible to turn around. They were stuck. Just then, they heard it. A tapping sound on the car window. They panicked. They immediately locked all the doors and windows. Someone was outside shining a torch. They were terrified, refusing to open the door. After a moment, the person outside turned off their torch and revealed themselves. It was 2 police officers. The police explained they were patrolling the area. They had seen a slight reflection in the moonlight and upon investigation realized they were stranded. Shoma's mother told the police how the GPS had failed them and that they couldn't turn the car around. The police checked the car with their torches, making sure everything was all right. Then they told them something absolutely terrifying. The police officer said he saw, in the faint moonlight, a shadowy figure inside their car. He saw someone climbing over the driver's seat and choking the driver. The police explained that precisely when Shoma's mother felt the burning in her eyes, the coughing, and the difficulty breathing, the moment she couldn't see the road, it was because the shadowy figure had been climbing over her seat and tightening its grip on her throat. The police thought they were intervening in a suicide attempt or even a murder.
They told Shoma's mother to leave immediately, that this place was known for strange events. The mother was completely shocked. They checked her IDs. The police guided them back out to the main highway, and they found a rest stop where they could recover. Shoma looked up the area. He discovered that the Yamaguchi Prefecture tunnel is notoriously famous as a haunted spot. Many people have already committed suicide there. The tunnel they were near is already sealed off by the government, blocked with barriers, and the police patrol it nightly because of its grim reputation. He found the specific time frame, 2 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. This is called Ushi Mitsu Time. In Japan, it is believed that during this time, when the trees and plants are all asleep, the dark powers and ghosts are strongest. Shoma's mother was trapped there at precisely 2:15 a.m. Never go near tunnels during the Ushi Mitsu time or the dark powers will find you. I'm telling you, never leave your bed between 2 and 2:30 a.m.
I need to tell you about the love hotels in Japan. They are everywhere, in every city, filling up the country. Many are completely automatic systems. You pay, you get your room, and nobody is there to see who comes and goes. They are designed for privacy and fantasy. Inside, you've got these massive TVs where you can watch anything, and they have all kinds of toys. The themes are incredible. Sometimes the walls are painted with stars, so when you lie on the bed, it looks like you are under the night sky. The beds are wild. Some are round, some are heart-shaped. It's all for couples. And since there is no ID check, sometimes kids who are under 18 sneak in, but mostly it's just couples. This story happened years ago, before tourism was huge. There was this tourist, a guy, black, meaning a foreigner, a Westerner. He was out partying hard all night, dancing, making noise. He met a girl. They hit it off. The girl said, "Where are we going to go now? All the trains are shut down for the night." The boy said, "I heard about these hotels. I've never been. You have to take me there." So they went to a love hotel. They got into the room. The room had a specific, unnerving feature. The bathroom had a transparent glass wall facing the bed. You could be inside and you could see outside and vice versa. The boy was excited, thinking his luck was in. The girl said, "Okay, first you go take a shower." He went into the shower. The wall was glass, so he could see her sitting on the bed. He saw the girl looking at him and trying to say something, but inside the bathroom, the water was running, and the wall was glass, so her voice couldn't reach him. He tried to signal with his hands, like, "What are you saying?" The girl ignored him, but she kept talking and gesturing. Then, the boy saw it. The girl stood up and turned away from him, walking to the side of the room, but her shadow remained in the same place on the glass wall. The girl was now talking and gesturing to her own shadow. She was having a conversation with it. The boy realized the shadow had its own hand gestures and was talking back to the girl. The girl's hand gestures were different from the shadow's. The boy panicked immediately. He forgot the shower, forgot everything. He thought, "Forget everything. I need to save myself." He thought maybe he was high, maybe he was crazy. The girl then started walking toward the bathroom, quickly, moving past the bed. She started running, not to attack him, but running toward the wall and pressing herself against the glass. The boy was completely terrified. He fell down, thinking an attack was coming, and his life was over. The girl, pressed against the glass, said something, "Run from here." The escape and aftermath. The boy didn't hesitate. He wrapped himself in a towel. He was faster than Usain Bolt and ran out of the room. He ran downstairs to the reception. The The staff are usually elderly people, and he found an old auntie sitting behind the reception window. He was wrapped in a towel, panicked, and told the staff what happened. The staff dismissed him, thinking he was on drugs or acting out some kind of fantasy play. The boy begged the staff to get his clothes and luggage. Finally, the old auntie went up with him to the room. They found his clothes, but the girl's clothes and money were gone. She had paid the bill and run off. About 1 month later, a boy's body was found in that very hotel. The couple had checked in, but the boy was dead, and the girl was never seen leaving. The police investigated the CCTV cameras. They checked the footage. The boy was seen entering with the girl, but the girl was never seen leaving. The staff told the police about the previous boy's complaint. The police investigated further and discovered that about 7 to 8 months prior, a girl was murdered in that hotel. She was assaulted and killed. The hotel closed for 10 to 15 days, but then reopened. Eventually, after all these cases, the hotel closed for a year, was bought by someone else, then reopened. Finally, the hotel closed permanently. It's been closed for 12 to 15 years now. There is graffiti on the walls that says, "Get out of here." Now the hotel is abandoned. The staff is gone, the furniture is rotting, and the walls are falling down. It's just left there, abandoned, because of its reputation.
Welcome to the Fear Files. This story isn't one of mine, but one told to me right here in Japan. I was living in Saitama, but my school was in Shinjuku. Later, when I got a job, my training sent me to a prefecture called Iki. This happened during those 4 months I was there. The main city, Matsuyama, is quiet. Everything shuts down around 5 or 6 p.m. The tourists leave. The only place left is the park near the castle. I used to go there around 10 or 11 p.m. just to sit. One evening, I was sitting on a bench when a man approached me. He looked about 50 or 55. He said, "Hello." He started talking to me, probably happy to practice English. I told him I wasn't a tourist, but a ryugakusei, student, who had just gotten the job. He said, "You shouldn't sit here alone so late. Don't you worry about ghosts?" I told him Japan was safe. He sat down and started drinking a beer with me. He then told me a story about another international student who studied at the university about 7 or 8 kilometers outside of Matsuyama. The setup. The student lived a disciplined life. He worked part-time, a baito, at a local ramen shop. His university classes ended at 4 p.m., and his part-time job started at 5 p.m. and ran until 10 p.m. After his shift, he would walk 20 to 25 minutes to his hostel. There was a convenience store along the route, one of the only places open late, and he would stop there, grab a beer, some food, and walk home. This routine was his life. One night, while walking home, he met a man on the road, a complete stranger. The man, seeing him, raised his hand and said, "Hello." The student replied politely. The man asked if he was Oryugakusei. The student confirmed. The man said he had once traveled to the student's home country and seen the pyramids. They talked briefly. The man asked why he was out so late, and the student explained his baito schedule. They said goodbye. The very next night, the student finished his shift, grabbed his beer, and was walking home when he met the same man. They greeted each other. The man asked, "I never asked your name." The student told him. The student asked for the man's name. The man said, "My name is Akiya," meaning empty house or apartment, "and look, my nameplate is right here." Akiya then asked if the student worked on Saturday or Sunday. The student said, no, the university was closed. Akiya got serious. He said, actually, I'm moving out of here in a few days. I'm alone, and I need help moving some heavy things, like a sofa and a TV. He offered the student 1,000 yen per hour, significantly more than the student earned at the ramen shop. The student agreed immediately. Yes, I can use the extra money. I'll be there at 1 p.m. on Saturday. The student went to the house Saturday at 1 p.m., knocked, and waited. After a long wait, the door opened. Akiya was inside. The house was messy, disorganized. Sofas were overturned. Cabinets were open. Akiya told the student to rearrange a heavy sofa. The student worked for over an hour, moving furniture exactly as Akiya instructed. Then, Akiya pointed to a storage closet. There's a camera and more equipment inside, but the door lock is stuck. I've pulled on it, but it won't budge. You're younger and stronger. You pull it. The student agreed. He grabbed the handle and pulled hard. It's heavy, he said. He pulled and strained. Finally, the student got into a stance, foot against the wall, putting his full weight into the pull. The revelation. The door flew open, and the student immediately passed out. When the student woke up, he was still in the house. He immediately jumped up and fled the house. He called the police. What had the student seen? When he pulled the door open, he saw that the handle was attached to a rope, and the rope was looped over the door frame. On the other side of the door, Akiya's body was hanging, suspended by a noose around his neck. Akiya was dead. The student had pulled his body forward when he pulled the door. When the police investigated, they discovered that Akiya had died by suicide 1 month earlier. He had been dead for weeks, and no one nearby had noticed. The student was so traumatized that he left Japan. That's the story the old man told me. He ended by asking me if I was scared now. It makes you think, was the man I was talking to that old man in the park? Or was he Akiya? You never know.